Well, good morning again. Welcome to Healing Light Fellowship Church. We are a non-denominational church practicing spiritualist principles. For those of you who don't know me, my name is George Janacek. I'm one of 7 founding members of Healing Light. I've had the pleasure to be married to Reverend Lydia for over 33 years. So if you don't know who I am, you know who she is. So that makes me Mr. Reverend Lydia. So if you've listened to my previous talks, you know I kind of like to do maybe a little story first to kind of segue into my talk. But today's not going to be any different. So there's a group of elderly men that met every morning at a favorite cafe. They would sit there and discuss world events and anything else that was going on. So as you can imagine, the discussion sometimes got a little depressing. So one day, one of the men announces, "You know what, I'm an optimist." So one of the other guys kind of looks at him funny and goes, "Hey, wait a minute, if you're such an optimist, how come you have such a worried look on your face?" The man replies, "Do you think it's easy being an optimist?" Well, life is kind of that way, isn't it? Sometimes it's hard for us to be an optimist. Okay? We all have plenty of things to worry about. Is there anybody here who doesn't have anything to worry about? No hands. Okay. Anybody want more to worry about? No, nobody wants more to worry about. No. Most of us already find a lot of things to worry about because, again, these are worrisome times. In fact, most people are so keyed up nowadays, it's almost impossible for me to put people to sleep while I'm standing here giving a sermon. I'm going to keep trying. So today, what I'm going to talk about is some things that are kind of interchangeable. I'm going to talk about worry, fear, anxiety. Sounds like a lot, but again, they're all interchangeable. Reality is, none of this is good for us. Worry gives us headaches, causes high blood pressure, heart attacks, diabetes, insomnia, stress. That's just for starters. Worry is a thief. It robs us of the joys in life, and it steals the time we could be spending focusing on the good things in life. On top of that, it goes against what God tells us and what Jesus taught. 3 times in Matthew 6, verses 25, 31, and 34, we're told not to worry. Verse 25 reads, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? So do not worry, saying, what shall we wear, what shall we drink, or what shall we wear?" 34 reads, "Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." Isn't that the truth? Okay? You can't have fear and faith at the same time. It's like trying to stand up and sit down at the same time. You just can't do it. It's not possible. It's got to be one or the other. And you know, I fall into that worry trap too. Had a recent scenario where I took my truck to the dealer for tire rotation / oil change. You know, they do these courtesy checks for you. You know, and they determined that my brakes needed to be replaced. And they could do this in about 2 hours for a little bit more than $1,000. So, you know, I just figured these pads had to be made of titanium or even maybe a more valuable substance, kryptonite. Okay. So I politely declined, and I'm thinking, well, you know, I can't wait to come back here and get tires, because I'm sure the tires they put on are made out of the same material as the space shuttle. So they'll probably last forever. So I had someone check my brakes, and he said, you know, they'll be fine, get them done before the snow starts flying, you'll be fine. So while on a recent trip with some friends, this squeal appeared in my left front tire. So we took it back to the mechanic that told me they were going to be okay for a while. And he checked it and he goes, well, you know, I'll just go ahead and put pads on. So we put the pads on. The noise was still there. Didn't go away. So he's like, okay, well, maybe we're going to have to replace rotors, calipers, and all that. I'm like, great. I could have got this done for $1,000. Now it's going to cost me $2,000, $2,500 to get all this done. So I'm stressing about this. Okay? So as it turned out, there was a rock that was stuck in there that was making all this noise. Okay? So all that stress I went through, all that worry, was for absolutely nothing. Well, the good news is I probably lost another pound or two from being wired up. Okay? So, but the first reason that we should stop worrying is because it really doesn't help. It does absolutely nothing. Okay? Matthew 6, verse 27 reads, can any one of you, by worrying, add a single moment to your lifespan? Answer is obviously no. Okay? Worrying will not add a single minute to your life. It won't add $1 to your bank account. It won't add any points to your GPA. Won't make your kids behave better. It won't impress your boss or improve your performance at work. And it isn't going to do a single thing to improve your marriage. Okay. Maybe you're the kind of person that doesn't quite buy into all this stuff. Okay, fair enough. There's a recent completed study by Columbia College of Physicians that proves worry and stress cause gray hair and hair loss. I see people looking around now. So then I have to ask you, do you really want to look like this? That alone should scare you. So somebody here might be saying, you know, just wait a minute, George, if you're that type A personality. You know, if I don't worry about stuff, nothing gets done. Okay? Well, let's first distinguish that worry and concern are not the same thing. Okay? Concern means something needs careful thought or more planning. Worry is the fear of being consumed that something is going to happen and something is going to go wrong. You know, we all get in that worry trap when we have a bad day. There's lots of reasons you could have a bad day. You could definitely be having a bad day if you wake up face down on the pavement. You could have a bad day if your identical twin forgets your birthday. You're probably going to have a bad day if your horn gets stuck on the freeway and you're riding behind a group of Hell's Angels. I can relate to this one. Your birthday cake collapses from the weight of the candles. The buzzard, or the bird singing outside your window is a buzzard. The wife says, "Good morning, George," but your name is Bob. All reasons to have a bad day. You know anybody that has a handle on worry? You know, one of these people that they kind of go through life, nothing ever goes wrong, job's going good, pretty much do anything they want. Somebody that comes through stressful times without coming unglued, follow their example. What I see in people who don't worry is they have a plan to take action. Doers aren't worriers. Worriers aren't doers. What kind of action should you take? Depends on what you're worried about. Your job? Have you gotten your resume ready? Have you looked for alternative work? Your health? Are you eating like you should? Taking care of your body? How about your marriage? Have you done anything that will strengthen the bond and open the lines of communication? If the answer is no, you got some work to do. Wake up call, people. You can't park your rear end and expect things to happen. If you do nothing, Spirit tells us not to worry about food or clothes. But that doesn't mean you should quit your job and stay home and watch TV all day. You have to do something to make that happen. We are heading into a kind of a time of year where worry, stress, frustration, anxiety intensify. Thanksgiving is 5 weeks away. Christmas is 9 weeks away. I know, I just created worry, fear, anxiety for somebody here. Okay? Christmas season can be a tremendous time of anxiety. Anxiety can even turn into depression when our expectations collide with the reality of missing loved ones, disappointing gifts, over-the-limit credit cards, lack of funds, squabbling with family members. Anxiety can even turn into anger. There's also some universal laws that kick in here if you're still not buying into the rest of this. Okay, so remembering that thoughts are things, how about we look at the law of cause and effect? It's pretty straightforward, really. It says there's a direct relationship between action and events. You may not see the effects right away, but they will happen. So that vibration, that energy you're putting out there, is going to have a ripple effect. So whatever you put out there will eventually be affected. Need more? Okay, got another one. Okay. There's no question the most talked about universal law is the law of attraction. Everybody remember The Secret? It's really not a secret. The secret of the secret, as I've said before, is the law of attraction. Like attract likes, your thought determines your experience. You attract what you think about. Whether it's good or bad, you're going to get what you think about. Okay? We have a daughter that's in law school. So she tells me she's having a test, and I start worrying, oh wow, I hope she passes this test, because if she doesn't pass this test, she's probably going to fail this class, and then she's not going to finish law school, and if she doesn't finish law school, then she's not going to get a good job, and she won't have a good career, and if she doesn't have a good career, then she's not going to meet the right guy, and if she meets the wrong guy, then she's going to have the wrong kids. And if she has the wrong kids, they're probably gonna have ADD and need braces and stuff. And then we're not gonna have money to send them to school, so they're gonna turn into criminals. And then they're gonna wind up in prison, so she's gonna have to spend every Saturday visiting them at the prison. So you see, this is what we do to ourselves needlessly. Okay, we all do this. So do you see what I just put out there by doing that? Okay? I should only be sending positive thoughts and positive energy. Sounds like they're having fun over there.
It's awfully loud.
Okay. An excerpt from an unknown author says there are 2 days in every week that we should not worry about. Yesterday and tomorrow. Yesterday has passed and is forever beyond our control. We can't undo a single thing, take back a single word, or change a single deed. The other day we shouldn't worry about is tomorrow, with all its burdens, adversities. This leaves only today. Any person can battle just one day. It's when we add the burdens of those 2 awful eternities that we break down. Let us therefore live one day at a time. The only thing you have control over is what you're doing exactly at this minute. That's it. The problem is, we think we cannot make the necessary changes. Well, it takes a little willpower. You have to want to do it. To make the changes in our thoughts and actions, we need to reconnect with our Creator, God. Our spiritual energy is more important than any other energy. The closer we get to God, the more do we develop a healthy life, so we can release the worry, the anger, the fear, the anxiety. Remember, you can be anything you want, you can go anywhere you want, you can do anything you want, as long as you're connected to the Creator. When you awaken yourself to your source, you can let go and let God, as David said in his talk. Okay. I'd like to close with a poem by Truman Capote. All human life has its seasons and cycles, and no one's personal chaos can be permanent. Winter, after all, gives way to spring and summer. Though sometimes when branches stay dark and the earth cracks with ice, one thinks they will never come. That spring and that summer, but they do, and always. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a blessed rest of your day.